You're listening to Aimee Keeps It Creepy, the podcast where I share my obsession with true crime and the paranormal with you. I'm your host, Aimee Brooks. A dangerous game where children summon a pissed-off spirit. Mirrors that are portals to a ghostly realm. Watch out! Mary Worth is going to get you. This is the Legend of Bloody Mary, your favorite slumber party game. Happy Halloween, creepsters. To celebrate the creepiest of seasons, October is full of especially spooky and nightmarish episodes to get you into the Halloween spirit and possibly keep you awake at night. If you're up for even more terrifying fun, check out the Aimee Keeps It Creepy Patreon page for my pajama party ghost hunt of my own house. Ooh, it's pretty scary. There's 2 ghosts living with me. In addition to awesome bonus content and member-only bonus podcast episodes, Patreon supporters also get commercial-free early access to Aimee Keeps It Creepy each week. There's also a tier that gets monthly candles from a candle story, and even an exclusive tier that gets a monthly Zoom call with me to discuss all things creepy. Check out our website, creepypodcast.com, or on Instagram at creepypodcast for all the latest show news and swag. I am so excited about our listener giveaway this month. During the month of October, I'm giving away 13 Halloween-themed luxury artisan candles from acandlestory.com. I am not lying when I say they are absolute pumpkin deliciousness and will have your whole place smelling like fall. To enter, just subscribe and leave us a review. Make sure to screenshot your review and email it to me at info@creepypodcast.com. As always, Patreon supporters are automatically entered for a chance to win one of these creepy candles, courtesy of A Candle Story. Good luck. Halloween is a big deal at my house. We go huge on the decorations. My front yard literally looks like something out of a horror film. Maybe a cheesy horror film, but cool nonetheless. And I do themes each year. My favorite being Haunted Pirate, where we turned our front yard into a ghostly pirate ship. Ooh. People stop and take videos in front of my house. I love it. But no one else on my street decorates for Halloween. And if they do, it's just some sad fake cobwebs that always look awful. They clump up and just never look real. No decent spider would make a web that looked that bad. Spiders have pride in their designs. Think of Charlotte's Web, for God's sakes. So, my house kind of stands out around this time of year. Maybe that's why my neighbors don't chit-chat with me. They just kind of nod and fake smile as they hurry past my house if they accidentally make eye contact with me. The creepy chick. Everything changed one year, though, when he moved in. My nemesis. The dude is a special effects artist, so he has raised the bar on Halloween. It's hard to compete with a professional. We have a Halloween decoration duel each year. I mean, I don't know if he knows we are dueling. I don't know this guy. It's LA. We don't know our neighbors. But I know that we are in a duel, and I never stand down. But this year, I am conceding I am not decorating outside. My heart just isn't in it. Trick-or-treating is canceled where I live. So the magic of kids running up for candy and a little scare at the front door while their parents linger close by with their solo cups filled with rosé is dead. For now. But to be honest, the trick-or-treaters have been waning in recent years. They've been hitting the houses a few streets over in Toluca Lake, where there is a street known for giving out full-sized bars. I only give out the fun-sized candy and refuse to have candy envy. I like fun-sized candy. We never had full-size bars at Halloween when I was a kid trick-or-treating. Always fun-sized treats, including those sketchy-looking pixie sticks that my mom would inspect and always end up throwing out. Orange County was super hip to razor blades and candy bars, and the local hospitals offered free x-rays for candy on Halloween to make sure there were no tricks given out. Maybe a little overkill. Don't know if they still do that. But yeah, One of my all-time favorite Halloweens I had as a kid was a Halloween slumber party where all of us girls trick-or-treated and then camped out in a tent in the backyard. Well, actually, we didn't stay all night outside because that year, the Night Stalker was terrorizing our nightmares. The Night Stalker, otherwise known as Richard Ramirez, was a serial rapist and murderer who would break into his victims' houses at night and rape and bludgeon them to death. One couple was hacked to death with a machete. It was brutal. We will definitely have a Richard Ramirez special someday soon. But at the time, I was terrified of the Night Stalker. It was all over the news, and I would triple check my bedroom window at night to make sure they were locked. So us girls maybe lasted 10 minutes in the tent before we freaked out and made our way back inside for safety. There was way more to do inside anyway. That's when the preteen slumber party games began. We played Would You Rather, Truth or Dare, Twister, and of course, Bloody Mary. You know Bloody Mary, the terrifying rite of passage for kids where they look into a mirror trying to summon some creepy dead chick named Bloody Mary, all for bragging rights that they live to tell about it. I think everyone out there listening knows how to play. Oh, you don't? You've never played? Well, okay. Well, I'll give you the basics. And maybe you'll play Halloween night while you're stuck at home not giving out candy. But I must warn you, be careful when you play, because the entity you may contact won't always play by the rules. Here are the basics. You need to be in a bathroom. Don't know why the bathroom is key, but bathrooms are scary. Think about horror films. There is always a terrifying bathroom scene, and come to think of it, it usually involves a mirror. The bathroom has to be completely dark with the windows closed and covered. You need some kind of torch like a flashlight, candle, or lighter. Now, we always played with a candle because candles always seemed more official when summoning the dead. Also because none of us were allowed to have lighters. After one of my friends set fire to the school when we were in kindergarten. Long story, but safe to say no one wanted to enable our potential pyrocides after that drama. So we would just ask a mom to just light a candle for us and hurry off to play Bloody Mary. You have to look into the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times, or up to 13, whatever your fancy. 13 sounds scary, though. Then either turn on the flashlight or hold up the candle, and it is said that you will see Bloody Mary in the mirror. The Bloody Mary apparition allegedly appears as a corpse, witch, or ghost that can be friendly or evil, and is sometimes seen covered in blood. If you look into Bloody Mary's eyes, Mary will tell you the future. But if you don't look into Mary's eyes, Bloody Mary will scratch your eyes, disfigure you, or kill you. At least that's how the story goes. Now, I like eye contact when I'm communicating with others, but come on, Mary, that's a bit harsh. Well, in actuality, most girls run screaming from the bathroom because they see their own reflection in the mirror or their eyes are playing tricks on them. Maybe, maybe not. If you survive the experience, extinguish the candle, turn on the lights, and leave the room. That's all there is to it. So here's my personal story. I saw red eyes staring at me once when a group of us played in the school bathroom in 4th grade. I swear to God, it was so scary. While some children were busy playing on the playground, I, of course, was in the creepy group of kids playing Bloody Mary during recess in some bathroom trying to hide from the janitor. But then, after I saw the red eyes, I refused to ever use that bathroom ever again. I always had to walk to the other side of campus to use an alternate bathroom that didn't haunt my nightmares. There are many variations to the Bloody Mary game. The 2 I've seen done are to replace the chant Bloody Mary with the chant, Bloody Mary, I stole your baby, or replace the chant of Bloody Mary with the chant, I believe in Mary Worth. Ooh, more to come on that Mary Worth story. Here are some helpful tips that I found online. Stand back. Do not place yourself within arm's reach of the mirror. She might scream at you, but you can handle screaming. If she's able to grab you, though, there's no coming back from that. Ew! Don't break the mirror. You wouldn't want to let her out, would you? Okay, terrifying. And here's one. Do not use the mirror again. That's one people might not know about. There is power in mirrors. That's why I don't buy antique mirrors, because they could be a portal to something that I don't need to invite into my house. I'm super into antiques, but I am careful about mirrors and very personal objects like rings. I don't need some funky energy from some ring worn by a miserable person in a bad marriage or an evil person. I've seen that movie. Thank you very much. But back to dangerous games children play to conjure spirits. There are several popular ones like Bloody Mary, or maybe some other ones you've heard of or played. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. The Answer Man game, or the ever-popular Ouija board. Oh, Ouija board. We all have creepy Ouija board stories. And actually, if you have an exceptional one, please email a brief description to info@creepypodcast.com, and we'll have you on the show for sure. But it's very ritualistic, isn't it? Young virgins gathering, holding hands, chanting in the dark with a candle. It's a conjuring. Or perhaps mad adolescent fun. Mirrors are powerful, though. The concept of mirrors as portals between this world and the realm of the spirit shows up in many beliefs. And I swear, I don't know if you identify, but I 100% have mirrors in my house that I look better in than others. There is one mirror that I have that makes me look so super skinny. She's my friend. I love her personality, and she totally gets me. Everyone should have a mirror that they're friends with. The world would be a better place. So who is Bloody Mary? Well, I've never lasted in the bathroom long enough to ask her, but there are 3 possible origins to the legend. If you like creepy things, please give us 5 stars and subscribe to Aimee Keeps It Creepy on Apple Podcasts or wherever you podcast, so you can obsess with me every week about true crime and the paranormal. If you subscribe and leave us a review, make sure to screenshot your review and email it to me at info@creepypodcast.com for your chance to win a weekly candle giveaway from our sponsor at candlestory.com. A Candle Story makes amazing luxury candles that smell absolutely delicious. Currently, they are featuring a limited edition Halloween collection. My favorite being the Sexy Witch candle that smells like a bourbon spiked pumpkin latte. Yum! Burn one today and keep it creepy. The roots of Bloody Mary stretch back to a folk tradition practiced by young people in the 19th century. It was said that if you walked backward up a staircase in a darkened house at night, passing a mirror as you went, you would see reflected in the mirror one of 2 things: the face of the person you were destined to marry, or a skull. I don't want the skull. No one wants the skull. If the skull appears, it meant that you were destined to die before you got the chance to marry anyone. Oh, that's a neat trick. I was told that if you sleep with wedding cake under your pillow, you would dream about the man you were going to marry. So when I was little, I stole some cake from my uncle's wedding and I stuffed it into my little purse and wrapped it in a napkin. But I didn't have any dreams, just a mess in the morning. I should have tried the mirror trick. But think about how many ladies in the olden days tripped over their dresses, walking backwards, and died before they even saw a skull. Or maybe the skull was the last thing they saw before tumbling to their death. The curiosity of who you're going to end up with is big enough to take the risk. I only risked buttercream in my hair. Bloody Mary was actually a nickname given to Mary Tudor, the Queen of England who reigned from 1553 to 1558. Thanks to her persecution of Protestants in an effort to restore Catholicism to England, she burned at the stake more than 200 people. Ugh! See, that to me is the most horrible death I can think of. Being burned alive. You don't die right away. It is a torturous way to go. Yeah, Mary was not nice and the people hated her. I remember a poem about her. You know the one. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. I'm pretty sure a quote from the poem was, "Pretty maids all in a row," which was a reference to her many miscarriages. So the public were very harsh and made fun of her. Mary Tudor was a creepy bitch who was still pissed off her dad betrayed her and killed her mom. She finally became a ruler and killed the people following her because they followed her dad. Yeah, not the person I want to conjure. The next possible source of the legend is a little girl named Mary, who fell very ill and fell into a deep coma. The local doctor was old and feeble, and without knowing any better, he believed Mary was dead. What a moron! Oh my God! Okay, well, he informed the family, and they had a funeral to lay her to rest. Mary's mother knelt by her daughter's grave the first night and thought she heard something. Muffled screaming coming from Mary's grave. Oh my God. She immediately sought help, but nobody believed her, as they thought it was just grief. She's hearing things, right? Sad mother, her daughter just died. Still not sure how anyone can hear you scream from 6 feet under the ground. But I don't know, maybe the gravedigger dug a little shallower for Mary? Pretty sure 6 feet is the industry standard, though, so one wonders how many people buried alive can't be heard. Terrifying thought. A reason to be embalmed for sure. Because if someone sticks an embalming thingy in some hole, I'm going to wake up. But this is before embalming was popular. Which wasn't really until after President Lincoln was embalmed. When people viewed him, they thought he looked fabulous. And the embalming trend took off. True story. Anyway, back to Mary. Mary's mother finally convinced the family to dig up Mary's grave. When they opened the coffin, they found that Mary was in fact dead. But, big but, there were scratch marks inside the lid of the coffin, and her fingernails were covered in blood from where she tried to escape from the grave. Oh! Okay, so that beats being burned alive for me. That is my new fear, being buried alive. For one, you wake up and it's pitch black. You have no idea you're in a coffin. It just feels like silky sheets around you. And how long does it take you to die in the dark, panicked, alone? Apparently in this version, after you say Bloody Mary 3 times, Mary will appear behind you in the mirror, and she'll scream the way she screamed when she was trapped in the grave. You must quickly blow out the candle and turn out the light, or she will kill you. Okay, again, who wants to conjure this Mary up? Not me. Next, maybe it is a witch named Mary who was executed. In this version, there are several Marys with origins. Perhaps it is Mary Worth, a Puritan woman executed in Salem for being a witch. She is said to be an angry spirit, looking to avenge her death and kill the people who tried to kill her. Can't blame her for being mad, but I still don't want to conjure her spirit in my bathroom. The next Mary witch possibility is a lady in the 1860s who was part of the Underground Railroad, meant to free enslaved blacks. Mary wasn't part of that. She was part of a reverse Underground Railroad. She'd bring in slaves under false pretenses to send them back down south and make some money. That's awful. There were rumors among the townspeople that Mary also practiced the dark arts, torturing and killing slaves for her rituals. For a time, the town turned a blind eye to her evil doings. But there came a moment when they were fed up. They lynched her on her own property. Okay, so what was the moment that they were fed up? What exactly is the tipping point on the scale of vigilante justice? That part's lost to history. Still, I don't want that creepy bitch in my bathroom either. And lastly, there is another witch named Mary who could be Bloody Mary. She lived deep in the forest in a tiny cottage and sold herbal remedies for a living. People living in the town nearby called her Bloody Mary and said she was a witch. No one dared cross the old crone for fear that their cows would go dry, their food stores would rot away before winter, and their children would become sick, or any number of terrible things that an angry witch could do to their neighbors. Maybe that's why my neighbors avoid me. Oh, they think I'm a witch. Little girls in the village began to disappear, one by one. No one can find out where they had gone. Grief-stricken families searched the woods, the local buildings, and all the houses and barns, but there were no signs of the missing girls. A few brave guys even went to Bloody Mary's home in the woods to see if the witch had taken the girls. But she denied any knowledge of the disappearances. Of course she did. Still, it was noted that her haggard appearance had changed. She looked younger and more attractive. The neighbors were suspicious by her sudden transformation into a hottie, but they could find no proof that the witch had taken their young ones. Then came the night when the daughter of the miller rose from her bed and walked outside, following an enchanted sound no one else could hear. The miller's wife had a toothache and was sitting up in the kitchen treating the toothache with an herbal remedy when her daughter left the house. Ooh, what kind of herbal remedy? Was it from Mary the Witch? Interesting. She screamed for her husband and followed the girl out the door. The miller came running in his nightshirt. Together, they tried to restrain the girl, but she kept breaking away from them and heading out of the town. The desperate cries of the miller and his wife woke the neighbors. They came to assist the frantic couple. Suddenly, a farmer gave a shout out and pointed towards a strange light at the edge of the woods. A few townspeople followed him out into the field and saw Bloody Mary standing beside a large oak tree, holding a magic wand that was pointed towards the miller's house. Ooh. She was glowing with an unearthly light as she set her evil spell upon the miller's daughter. The townsmen grabbed their guns and their pitchforks, of course. You gotta grab your pitchfork, and ran toward the witch. When she heard the commotion, Bloody Mary broke off her spell and fled back into the woods. The farmer had a loaded gun with silver bullets, just in case the witch ever came after his daughter. That was a smart move. He was ready. He was ready for her. Now he took aim and he shot at her. The silver bullet hit Bloody Mary in the hip and she fell to the ground. Now, I'm not sure why he needed a silver bullet per se. I mean, isn't that for werewolves? I don't know. That part of the story is lost to history. But the angry townsmen leapt upon Mary, who was hit with the bullet, and they carried her back into the field, where they built a huge bonfire and burned her at the stake. As she burned, Bloody Mary screamed a curse at the villagers. If anyone mentioned her name aloud before a mirror, she would send her spirit to revenge herself upon them for her terrible death. That is very specific. She mentioned a mirror. Interesting. When she was dead, the villagers went to the house in the wood and found the unmarked graves of the little girls the evil witch had murdered. She had used their blood to make herself young again. Ooh, that's some Elizabeth Bathory stuff. Oh, creepy. From that day to now, anyone foolish enough to chant Bloody Mary's name 3 times before a darkened mirror will summon the vengeful spirit of the witch. It is said that she will tear their bodies to pieces and rip their souls from their mutilated bodies. The souls of these unfortunate people will burn in torment as Bloody Mary once was burned, and they will be trapped forever in the mirror. Ugh! So, okay, which Mary is it? And is this all fake? Some have suggested a scientific explanation for the spirit's appearance. It is said that staring into a mirror in low-light conditions for lengthy amounts of time causes our perception of what we're seeing to distort and become monstrous. Perhaps it's group hypnosis, or just girls freaking each other out with fear. The mind can do funny things to a person. Let this serve as a cautionary tale that maybe kids or adults shouldn't be playing dangerous games like this, trying to manifest a Bloody Mary bent on exacting revenge. She's not a friendly person. No matter what you believe, though, one thing is absolutely clear. Why would anyone play this game? Why would anyone want to conjure any of these creepy bitches? Purely for the challenge of surviving the encounter? Live to tell about it? This isn't a roller coaster ride. This is surviving a pissed off spirit with a vendetta. And you may be subjected to an eternity trapped in a mirror. Ugh. Ooh, I just had a creepy thought. What if my friendly mirror that always makes me look so skinny is actually someone trapped in it from playing Bloody Mary? Ew. Oh, creepy. But I don't want to be trapped in a mirror. And I don't want to get my eyes scratched out either. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the one to test out this particular legend. And I'm going to have to think about my daughters playing Bloody Mary in the future at their own slumber parties. Whichever one of these creepy Mary spirits is actually Bloody Mary, I think we should all just let them be. Do you have a creepy true crime or paranormal story that you would like to share on Aimee Keeps It Creepy? I know you do. Please email a brief description of your story to info@creepypodcast.com. I can't wait to get creeped out. Thank you for listening.
Toxic content.